Most of us walk on the ground, but there are people in the world who know how to walk several feet above it. In parts of West Africa, some people tie wooden stilts, taller than a human, to their feet and walk across open ground with such incredible balance that anyone watching is left amazed. And this is just one small example. Across this vast continent, whether it is a desert desperate for water, valleys that suddenly fill with rivers and streams, or rugged mountains without proper roads, people have been finding solutions to these challenges for hundreds of years. Not with machines, and not with outside assistance, but through ancient knowledge passed down from one generation to the next. Knowledge of the land, animals, weather, and nature. Today, we are going to explore the stories of 8 remarkable African tribes who not only survived some of the harshest environments on Earth, but learned how to live exceptionally well within them. The stilt walkers of West Africa and parts of Senegal, Mali, and Burkina Faso, walking on tall wooden stilts is not simply a circus trick. It is an important part of their centuries-old culture, stories, and identity. After years of difficult training and practice, people learn to dance and move on wooden stilts that can rise more than 1 meter above the ground. Their clothing is often arranged in a way that makes them appear as if a spirit is floating above the earth. But behind this incredible skill lies a historical purpose in flood-prone areas, where fields and paths could become submerged during the rainy season. Being able to move above the water, keep an eye on livestock, and travel quickly could be extremely useful. Today, this tradition is mostly seen during festivals and cultural celebrations, keeping these communities connected to their past. The Dogon of Mali and central Mali lies the dramatic Bandiagara Escarpment, a vast formation of towering cliffs. Along these steep rock walls, the Dogon people built homes, granaries, and places of worship. This was not simply a coincidence. It was a carefully developed strategy. Building homes higher on the cliffs helped protect their grain from flooding in the valley below. During extreme heat, the structures could remain relatively cool, while their elevated position also provided a wide view across the surrounding landscape. The Dogon have also developed remarkable agricultural knowledge, allowing them to farm in difficult conditions. Much of their traditional knowledge was historically preserved through oral traditions. Information about the stars, nature, agriculture, history, and their way of life was passed from elders to younger generations. The Mursi of Ethiopia. In Ethiopia's Omo Valley, the lives of the Mursi people have traditionally revolved around their livestock. Cattle are not simply a source of food. They can represent wealth, social status, identity, and responsibility within the community. Because rainfall in the region can be unpredictable, people have traditionally moved according to the availability of water and grazing land. Mursi men are also known for creating striking patterns on their bodies using natural mud and ash. These designs are not simply fashion. Traditionally, body decoration can communicate aspects of identity, age, social position, and cultural belonging. Their way of life represents a deep relationship with the natural environment, where survival depends on understanding the land and adapting to its changing conditions. The Samburu of Kenya. In the dry and demanding northern regions of Kenya live the Samburu people. They are traditionally pastoralists who move with their cattle, goats, and other livestock through hot, dry landscapes with limited vegetation. From a young age, children learn skills related to tracking, navigation, finding routes, and dealing with difficult environmental conditions. Experienced members of the community can travel long distances through the landscape without modern maps. They have traditional knowledge about finding water sources, recognizing useful plants, and protecting livestock from wild animals. Much of this knowledge is not found in books. It has been developed through generations of experience and passed from elders to younger members of the community. The Himba of Namibia. In one of Namibia's driest regions, known as Kunena, the Himba people have traditionally lived in an environment where rainfall can be extremely limited. In many Himba homesteads, a sacred fire has traditionally been maintained as an important spiritual symbol. The fire represents a connection between the living community and their ancestors. Their traditional homes are constructed using materials such as mud, dung, and wooden branches. These structures are designed to provide protection from the intense heat of the day and the colder temperatures at night. The Himba continue to preserve many aspects of their traditional lifestyle, with livestock remaining an important part of their culture and daily life. The Zulu of South Africa. The Zulu people of South Africa form one of the continent's largest cultural communities. During the 19th century, under the leadership of their famous king, Shaka, the Zulu kingdom developed a highly organized social and military system. Young men were organized into age-based groups that trained and worked together. This organization and discipline played an important role in the Zulu kingdom's military history, including the famous Battle of Isandlwana in 1879. Today, elements of this discipline and cultural identity can still be seen in traditional dances, songs, ceremonies, and stories. It is a culture deeply connected to ideas of community, unity, responsibility, and collective identity. The San of the Kalahari Desert. The San people of the Kalahari are often described by researchers as belonging to some of the oldest continuously living cultural traditions in the world. One of their most remarkable skills is tracking. An experienced tracker can examine footprints left in the sand and identify the animal that made them. They can sometimes determine how recently it passed, the direction it traveled, and clues about its condition. They also possess detailed knowledge of desert plants, including which roots and plants can be eaten and where water may be found. What makes their tracking abilities particularly impressive is that they do not rely only on footprints. They pay attention to subtle changes in the sand, vegetation, wind, and surrounding environment to understand what may be happening nearby. An experienced hunter can sometimes follow tracks for hours and eventually locate an animal without relying on modern equipment. This level of skill is not learned in a single day. Children traditionally learn from an early age to carefully observe the land, animals, plants, and small changes in their surroundings. Their accumulated knowledge represents a remarkable system of environmental understanding, preserved and passed down through generations. The Turkana of Kenya. The Turkana region of Kenya is considered one of the driest areas in Africa, receiving very little rainfall throughout the year. Despite these extreme conditions, the Turkana people have lived in this environment for centuries. They traditionally travel long distances with cattle, camels, goats, and other livestock in search of water and grazing land. Their lives have been shaped by the constant challenge of finding water and coping with intense heat. At one point, outsiders described parts of the region as unsuitable for human settlement. But the Turkana demonstrated something important. A place that appears uninhabitable to an outsider may be perfectly understandable to people who have spent generations learning how to live there. For the Turkana, water is more valuable than gold or precious stones. Traditional knowledge can involve observing clouds, wind patterns, seasonal changes, and the physical characteristics of the land to judge where water may be more likely to exist. For them, this is not simply a survival technique. It is knowledge developed through centuries of experience, allowing people to live in one of the world's most challenging dry environments. And perhaps that is the greatest strength of these communities. Where others may see nothing but dangerous and barren land, these people know how to search for the possibility of life. 8 Tribes. For regions, one remarkable story. They are the people who developed ways to move through flooded landscapes. They are the people who built homes high along towering cliffs. They are the people who can read footprints in the sand almost like the pages of a book. And they are the people who learned to move above the ground because generations before them discovered a way to do it. This is not simply a story from the distant past. It is still happening today. It is the story of people who understand their land and environment in ways that can be difficult for outsiders to imagine. Africa is often described using very simple words. But the traditional knowledge, adaptability, and ingenuity of its people are far more complex and remarkable than those simple descriptions suggest. And that history is not finished. It is still being written today.